All right.
All right. Oh, look. Your face.
All right.
Working?
I don't know if it's doing what it's supposed to do with the back and forth.
All right. Well, I'm going to need another beer. It's 9:35, which is way too late for a beer, but things you do for the podcast, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'll manually change the camera when I have to. I can do that.
Huh?
I can manually change who's on camera.
I mean,
Just go. It's all set. Go.
are we live?
Yeah.
We got anyone watching?
Slice, I'm sure.
Slice.
Yes.
Slice could not be online and he'd be watching.
Slice is here on 4 different accounts.
Shit. All right. Well, so hold on. So, like me seeing Dave, what is that? How does that work?
You not see me?
Now I see you, and it's like automatically switching.
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because you're the call guy. So, should I kick it off?
Go.
Should I ask another time just to confirm for the 5th time?
Go.
All right. Well, should we wait till there's more people?
Yeah, let me figure.
Are there gonna be more people? Nah, with Dave, we'll get at least like 6. That's the kind of attention that Dave brings.
Should I put this in that other group too?
Yeah.
Huh?
Why don't we put it in the New Hampshire group? More people.
Oh man, that's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people in that group.
Up to you.
I think a repost of both because of.
All right. Yeah. Let me.
40 minutes late stinks. You know.
Yeah. We won't discuss why.
We won't tell them why. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's not Joe's fault. It's the internet's fault.
All I had to do is restart my computer. Remember that for next time.
Real good executive producer here.
All right, I'm posting, then we'll start.
40 minutes to restart the computer. I think Liv's home. I don't know.
This is how much of a DJ I am. I'm grinding cash on ACR while I'm doing this.
Grinding cash on ACR?
Yeah.
Now that's a fucking thing and a half. I think Liv's home. I'm kind of nervous. I hope it's her.
Who?
All right, good. What? I didn't know if there was someone at the door or not. I was like a little afraid to answer it. It's like I might be dead.
I assumed you were still at the.
No, it hasn't started yet because Joe is. It's not Joe's fault.
Wow, that was an instant change of name.
We're live, but we're waiting for at least 4 viewers. Oh, I know. I left it on to wait. I had to wait until you got home. Before I went down there again. Shut it off.
Can we do it together and you can show me the link?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same as it was yesterday.
Are you busy right now?
Yeah, I think we're about to start. We're waiting for people to join the.
All right, it's posted.
Yeah.
5 people watching. Rear slice.
Slice.
Slice, you here? Let's go. Is it baby slice or is it like the adult slice?
Isn't it always kind of baby slice?
Yeah. It's a big baby. Just kidding, Slice. You're not a baby. We're starting so late that I had to open a second beer.
I think we should fire away and
I'm
like
happy about it.
if
I
Joe's
was gonna fall asleep.
recording it, you can just repost it, the completed one, right?
All right.
No, just the webcam's on.
Look at that towel behind you.
I'll come with. This will be quick. I'll make short work of them. Just kidding. That's not the attitude I want for this podcast.
All right, let's go. Start your intro.
All right, are we good? Are we switching back and forth between me and Dave?
I'm gonna manually do that.
What was that noise?
Heard that?
Kind of. Hold on. I'm gonna shut off this fan because I think it might be going to the mic. Man, I'm gonna sweat my fucking
Do
balls.
you want me to bring in the other fan that's a little quieter? I'll put it on the other
No.
side.
This mic is way too sensitive. It's gonna pick up everything. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yep. Ready to rock.
All right. Oh shit. Never had someone here before when I've done the intro. This is weird. I know. All right. Well, welcome to it should be the 4th episode of 20 Minutes of Truth, but it's the 3rd episode because I fucked up the production on the 2nd one. So here we are. Today's episode, we have New Hampshire's poker prince, David Mock, known by most, loved by all. Dave, how you doing?
Good, man. Other than you guys, or not you guys, I mean Joe messing up the
Thank you.
computer stuff.
Just so everyone knows, Dave's been a saint and has had all the patience in the world waiting for a certain executive producer to set up the stream so it works properly. But that's neither here nor there. So
Luckily, I don't have too much to do.
And the best part is he's here and listening to this, but he's like, he shouldn't really say anything yet. So I'm sure he'll get his 2 cents in eventually.
Right. But yeah, no, things are good, man. Things are good.
So yeah, I mean, they're pretty good. He just won 95 grand in a poker tournament, right? So that's not bad, right?
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
little bump of the bankroll.
How many runners were in that?
So to be exact, there was 25.97.
Wow.
So it was a lot, and 5 of them were mine.
No, you fired 5 bullets?
Yeah, 5th bullet.
Oh yeah, I need Glenn. Yeah, I think Glenn told me that you and him combined fired like 9 bullets or something absurd. So, well, the 5th bullet is the fucking charm, right?
I mean, to be fair, like the first 4 bullets, after those were done, like we were on dinner break of the last day, and I texted my buddy, and I was just like, dude, I don't know if I can do another one. I'm like, I'm on tilt, like super life tilt, because I got it in good all 4 times. Good or flip, I should say. And I just lost all of them. He just texted me. He's like, just fire one more. You're fucking Dave Mock. Pull your pants up and get in there.
Nice, man. It really helps. Like that is all the difference in the world, right? Where you get that text from someone that motivates you where like, fuck, like I'm 2 grand in this event. Like I'm drained. It's dinner break and you get a little lift from a buddy who's like, no, just fucking do it. And then, it gets the blood flowing and here we are, right? So how did you? So the 5th bullet, was that late, like on the final day of registration, or what?
Yeah. So I mean, you could reg up until through the first level of day 2, but you'd have 6 big blinds.
Okay.
So I regged after dinner, which we came back to a 1,200 big blind, and you start with 30,000. So you had 25 bigs.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
So how did you end day 1?
I pretty strong. I bagged like 52 bigs, which was I think 250, 260K, something like that.
Okay, so it ended on day 3, right? You guys played down to like 34.
Yeah, we played so day 2 was the long day.
Hey, can you move a little bit closer or adjust your camera? You're kind of like, I can
Yeah,
see half
sorry.
your face sometimes.
Just leaning back thinking. Yeah, so day 2 we finished with 34 players and then came back to day 3. And then day 3 the plan is just to play it out all the way through, even if it takes like 2 days. You just keep playing.
How did day 2? I mean, day 2 must have gone pretty well. You finished 3rd, but did you run into any sort of opposition, or was it relatively smooth sailing all day? You just pick your spots.
Day 2 was actually pretty smooth for the most part. I got lucky where like there's 2,600 people, so the majority of them aren't professional poker players.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still 5 to 10% of like good grinders, like tournament regs, and a couple elite players that are locals.
Yeah.
That were there, but luckily I didn't run into any of them for the most part, for the entire tournament. And then it just made it slightly easier for me. You still have to get through the masses, but just not running into any of like the elite guys was pretty good.
Yeah, you probably gained some equity, I'm sure, in some like bubble spots or certain times throughout the tournament where you can exploit some things that otherwise wouldn't be able to. So it must have been nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like I was real short almost the entire day too. Like I didn't get anything going, and then I got moved to a table where just like I had position on a pretty like recreational player, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of just gave it away like all to me, and he had heaps, and I doubled up through him, and then I doubled up through him again, so that just changed my whole tournament right there.
So I mean, it's funny how that works out. You get put at the right table in the right position and dump city, basically, right?
It's tournaments, man. It's table draw. Well, like the luck isn't just the cards. It's like where you're sitting at certain tables and all that other stuff. So there's a lot of different variables.
So yeah, then I saw the final. I was kind of following the final table. I like went to bed and then woke up, but it seemed like you crushed from it the time it got. Well, you were like top 2 or 3 in chips going into it, right?
Yeah, I was. I think I was tied for like second with another gentleman to my right who was also a rec, so that was good. The kid that had the chip lead going in was a pretty solid guy that we ended up chopping with. But I basically I got lucky that the table wasn't super. There weren't a lot of pros at the table, so it was good in that regard. And
I mean, it's a $300 tournament, right? So how many? Maybe 50-50 split, like at worst. I don't know. I don't ever make the final tables of large field events, so
yeah,
not at that buying level at least. So
probably 50-50 like at the final table, or you're saying 50-50 in the field?
Final table.
It was probably more like
no one.
Not like one.
One.
Like one player.
The prince himself. Nice.
But yeah, no, it was good. I got unlucky on one big hand with kings to king queen. If that didn't happen, then there would have been no chopping because
yeah, you had all the chips.
Yeah, I would have had all the chips, and the one pretty decent player was the kid that got there on the river against me. So
yeah,
that changes the dynamic obviously when he doubles up.
I guess 95K is not a bad consolation, right?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I'm not mad about it.
So, what are your plans for the future? Are you going any series soon? Are you going to play this Foxwood circuits or?
So yeah, I'll be there for the whole Foxwood circuit, and then the whole Brigada circuit in September. So, nice. And that's as far as I looked at the moment. I think Foxwoods again has their World Poker Finals in October at some point.
Yeah.
So I'll just do the East Coast traveling, the Brigada, Parks, Foxwoods, and then maybe Florida. I couldn't make it this weekend to go to Florida because I have I have a bachelor party and a fantasy football draft. So.
Oh yeah, the fantasy football drafts take precedence over poker tournaments.
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
if
of
you
course.
just won one.
Yeah, that makes it
Honest.
easier. That makes it easier.
Speaking of tournaments, you spent the summer in Vegas.
I did.
And despite what some may claim, I heard it was to get away from a certain New Hampshire cash reg who's known as Joey Panic. Do you have any thoughts on that?
So, I've been playing cash in New Hampshire for a long time, and I always look forward to the summer where I can go to Vegas and play against all those guys because it's just really tough to grind out a living here when he's at your table.
Yeah.
It's just like he just makes your life hell, and like it's really hard because he makes all these crazy plays, and sometimes he has a lot of chips, sometimes little chips. You just never know what's going on with him, so
He
you got to
just whips it in.
yeah. He's
So,
a wild card.
So this actually happened to me on Sunday. I busted out of the 250. Obviously, I wasn't going to win. So then I go upstairs to play 2-5, get on the list, and I'm watching the table. He's in the main game. I got moved to the must move, and I'm looking at him. He has, first of all, direct line of sight with me, so that's bad enough. He's just staring into my soul. I'm not even at the table with him. But as soon as I got called for the main game, I got up and left because he was there.
Yeah, that's good table selection
Yeah.
on your end. I would say. I think
I didn't want to go broke. I didn't
think
want to lose all my money to him. 'cause he's
most of the
gonna take it.
times I know I'm giving this away. Usually I call. I know a lot of the floor people in all the poker rooms. I
Yeah,
usually call a lot of the floor to make sure like what room he's at, so I make sure I don't go there.
yeah, that's smart. But he's everywhere, so it's like also like really hard to avoid him.
It's pretty tough.
He travels well, but okay. All right. Well, moving on from Joey Panic, because that's just a whole nother topic in itself. So you were out there over the summer, right?
Yeah.
For the whole World Series. So how would you, if you could pick like a couple sentences to describe your Vegas experience? Because this was the first like full schedule you played, right?
Yeah, I mean, so every year I've played a little more and more, just because for a few different factors, just like I'm improving myself, been doing better, and then I just feel like I can take on more. So I played 44,000 in buy-ins this year, which was around 24 buy-ins.
24. Okay, not 24 events, 24 buy. I'm guessing you entered
multiple bullets in a few, in a few of them. So
yeah,
it was a good amount. Where last year I think I did, like 18,000 in buy-ins.
yeah. You also had a really good result leading up to the World Series, right? You got fifth in that Borgata. Was it like a 3K?
So yeah, that was the Borgata main in April. It was a 2,700, and I was lucky enough to get fifth. Fifth has been haunting me this year. I've been getting a couple fifths, so I was happy not to get fifth this time. But
so, were you planning on playing that much in buy-ins before that, or did that kind of like motivate you and give you the opportunity to play more?
So I actually sold like a big package for the summer prior to hitting that score in April.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So I actually would have liked to have played even more and would have been able to, but I'm not about to like change. I just did all the work and people invested. Like you got to do the right thing.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, you just stick to what I was going to do, my original plan, and it was fine. I could have played a few more tournaments here or there, but like at the end of the day, I was pretty comfortable with my schedule and like not overdoing it and all that stuff.
How long were you out there? How many days were you there for?
I got there May 27th, and I got home on July maybe 11th. So whatever that is.
A month and a half, basically. So like 6 weeks. 6
or 7 weeks.
Okay. So did you stay in a house with like some buddies or?
So yeah, so the me, Billy, Justin, Adam, and Sean rented a house. We had a pretty good deal actually. Like 10 minutes away from the strip, not even. And
you just had a car down there too.
Yeah, we rented a car, and like we did it on the cheap so that we can like try to pull out as much profit as we can.
Yeah.
It was a nice place, and it's good to like be with your friends as well as like other poker players, so that you can just like talk hands at the end of the day and like go over all this stuff. And
Yeah, they're all guys from New England too, right? So you like,
yeah,
you see them all the time.
yeah, they're like some of
Yeah.
my closest friends are good guys. So it was a good experience to be with everybody. And the only, but like there's two 21-year-olds, so they're like, on the partying end a little bit more, where I'm just like the old man now and just like trying to grind it out. So
Right. So
But
did you have any wild nights while you were out there, or did you mostly keep it pretty low key?
I had one wild night out of the entire time. And
You want to elaborate a little bit? I mean, you don't have to like incriminate yourself, but
let's just say I don't know how I got home, and it was like really early in the morning, like 10 or 11 a.m.
Was there a strip club involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't want the New Hampshire Poker Prince to get tarnished, so we'll keep it at that. But it sounds like a good time. Me and Joe were there for 3 days.
Yeah.
And we did some old man shit. Yeah. Actually, well, Joe walked around Vegas. I literally stayed at the Rio for like 3 days straight. I didn't go do anything.
I just want to point out that Dave took time out of playing, I think it was a 3K at the time, to come reel me in a daily.
This is true. I was on dinner break, and I was gonna go play Fortnite up on the stage, and I saw Frizzy right there. So I said, you know what, let me watch this. And I saw him make a nice call against some lady in Stacker.
Oh, if you would have stayed, maybe you would have won that. But I think your departure also has run good departed along with you.
I think I owe you some money, Joe, don't I?
Oh, while we're on that topic,
Figure that out later.
Dave, do you remember when I punted in the 250 right after we agreed to do a swap?
I do remember that. That was upsetting.
I know.
Oh, do I owe you too?
I think so. But we'll make it up. We'll get a couple beers or something.
I'll take you guys to dinner. You guys stink.
Ooh, nice.
I'm sure I'm going to lose it back to you. It'll last longer anyway, so just hold on to it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So me and I don't know, for anyone who's watching, me and Dave, we're at the final two tables of a 250, and Dave's like, hey, you want to swap? What was it, like 5 or 10% or something?
Yeah, something.
And I'm like, yeah, like we both had pretty good stacks. Like I think we were both over 200, maybe 200K, like 30 big blinds, which was pretty good for a 250. Like that's above average.
Yeah, solid.
And then literally like 20 minutes later, I end up like floating the flop with a flush draw. I turn the straight draw, and then I jam over a river bet, and he snaps me off. Like, didn't even think about it after I missed the river with like top pair no kicker. He's like, he calls and he flips over his hand. Jackson 3, like it was pretty soul crushing. I felt real dumb.
It was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable soul read.
I mean, I didn't read that opponent very well. But anyway, we'll not talk about that too much. Okay, so yeah, so you were in Vegas for almost 7 weeks. Played, what was it? You said 24 different buy-ins?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's around 24.
How did you feel from like the beginning when you got there? Like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm pumped. We're gonna have a great summer. To like, maybe not the main event because you probably got pumped up for the main event, but maybe like end of June, middle of June when you're out there grinding. How did you feel then?
So it's funny. Like I got obviously, when you get there first, you're really excited. So like you're gonna play your first few tournaments, and
yeah,
the first few were at the Venetian for me, and I like min cashed a couple of them, so I was feeling all right.
You had a few deep runs, right?
Yeah. I min cashed like the first two or the first one or two of two. And then the third Venetian one, I actually ran kind of deep in, so that was nice.
We're following you.
Yeah, and then that led right into the like Colossus, which is like the mentally like the hardest tournament for me to play all summer.
Yeah.
Even though it's $500 and I'm playing like 5Ks and 3Ks and stuff, this tournament like kicks my ass for some reason. Like
there's like never any end in sight, right? It's like an endless sea of players.
there's just no edge. Like for the first day where there's like 30-minute blinds and you get 5K in chips and just like millions of fish, which is amazing, obviously, but you can't beat them. So you're just getting your butt kicked over and over. And I didn't have, no one gave me that pep talk where it's just like, just fire another one like my buddy did the other day.
Yeah.
Like, because
you'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, you never know. But I just feel like I let it get to me and it just kind of crushed me. But then from there, I went on deep runs in back-to-back tournaments in the Millie Maker and the 3K Six Max, which is the Six Max is one of the toughest tournaments of the year. So that gets the juices going again. So you're feeling on top of the world.
So that was what, like the first third kind of your.
Yeah, I'd say the first third.
Yeah.
So then, you go on 2 deep runs and you're feeling really good, right? So now after the first third, I feel really good. Making deep runs, feeling like, okay, I'm going to win something here. The second third did not go so hot. I just really just couldn't get anything going. I didn't make any day twos for like 2 weeks and anything. I played almost a tournament every day. Like not even sniffing anything.
That's how do you wake up day 12 of, do you just were you working out? Were you what were you doing to just stay sharp? Were you just like not partying? Was that your main?
So yeah, really not partying because I really can't work out the way I want to because I'm still recovering from my ACL surgery.
Yeah, right.
I'm also just a lazy piece of crap. So those
natural we'll work out.
Yeah, so those two things combined have made it tough for the workout part.
Yeah,
but just really focusing on one. I have pieces of a couple other guys that I was playing that was in the house. So Justin and Billy. So you're excited when they kind of run deep in something. So that kind of keeps you going. On top of the fact that I just know I'm there for business. I'm there. I was focused. Wasn't there to party. I was there to win, make money. So, it really helps to just try to stay focused that way.
Yeah, and you were able to keep that focus basically through the whole series. I mean, it ended up. It sounds like although I know you didn't win anything, but it sounds like you had you made a few deep runs. You played well. It sounds like you played your best poker throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky to say that I had a profitable summer, which not many people can even say that. It wasn't life-changing or crazy money, but it was good. It helps. Everything helps, obviously.
Helps confidence, right? I mean, it helps your confidence playing. Buying into a Parks 340.
I wouldn't exactly say he didn't win anything either. I mean, did you finish top 30 in the Millionaire Maker?
Yeah, I mean that was 7,000 people, and I got 33rd. So yeah, I guess that's.
That's like winning a regular tournament in its own right there. That's 30 people away from $1 million. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And that was pretty cool. Yeah, no, you're right. So you just feel good. Like you said, the confidence, knowing you can play with some of the best players in the world. Getting deep in the Six Max actually, even though it was less money and stuff, really gave me a lot more confidence. Just because the Millionaire Maker is at the end there's a lot of good players, but it's kind of a crapshoot as well because there's 7,000 players.
Speaking of really good players, was there any was there one or two guys? I mean, I'm thinking of the Six Max because that field was just stacked. But was there anyone that that gave you not gave you trouble, but you were this guy's pretty good? I mean, I'm sure. Is there anyone in particular that stands out?
Not specifically. I ran into 2 players a lot over time. One was Shannon Shore. Who's a pretty well-known pro. I believe he was a Red Pro on Full Tilt as well.
He was my horse for the main event Last Longer.
Oh, there you go. So he's a he's a pretty much well-known as one of the best players without a bracelet in the world.
Yeah.
I just somehow he was just at all my day one tables. But we never really butt heads too much.
Right.
There's a kid named Justin Liberto who's a pretty good. He's not a super big name pro, but he's a very, very good player out of Maryland.
Okay.
And in the Six Max, he was to my left, which is obviously not good, and he made my life a little tough.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you found ways to deal with him because you're dating.
Yeah, you figure it out. You have to try. to figure it out at least.
Yeah.
But those two guys, I ran into a lot. a couple different times, and they're both really good, obviously.
How would you say, like, what is your approach when put in that position, when you have a really good player to your left? Like, do you have like a set process that you start, going through, like troubleshooting, or do you like what do you do?
I mean, it's the same process for anything, right? So like every situation, poker tournaments is so much fun because there's so many different variables, right? Let me start with that. And all the situations, you have to like look at it and figure out what's the best plan of attack, right? So you're going to act differently with a 50 big blind stack compared to a 30 big blind stack, compared to like when you have 3 short stacks to your left and when you have a really good player to your left. And they all are just different, and you have to, just adjust to that with whatever you think is best. So for me specifically, with really good players, you got to tighten your opening range a little bit, and then also but widen your 3-betting range, or 4-betting range, I should say.
Yeah, like it's not like one of those situations where you're going to be like 3-bet folding ace king against a really good player. Like,
no, you just have to be willing to get it in against those guys. Like they're going to 3-bet you wider than you would like, obviously. Yeah. Especially if they don't know who you are at that, because I could be relatively unknown. Oh, I also just got in Kings to Kings online. Sorry.
Oh, did you? You probably won. Probably ran pretty pure.
No, but yeah, so you just have to be willing to, tighten your opening range and then like widen your 4-betting all-in range, or 4-bet whatever range, depending on your stack depth.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, do you think that's a mistake people make as far as like, okay, I can fold, let's say a hand like ace king, people will like, will come up with weird reasons to fold ace king, but not understand, like, you become exploitable when you do these things. Like, maybe in a vacuum, it doesn't seem all that terrible, but if you're folding that hand, people are going to run you over, right?
I mean, 100%, right? So there's a reason why GTO is like the big thing that people talk about these days, is like you want to play as close to as unexploitable as you can against
good players.
Right? And against bad players, or people that you deem worse than you, I should say. Mm-hmm. Like you can do whatever you like against them. You do whatever it takes just to win the pot. Like whatever play you think will work against them, you do.
Right.
So you just play.
It might be exploitable, but it's optimal, right?
Correct. And like in a vacuum, because all tournaments are in a vacuum, right? You're not playing like, I know me and Billy Michael have a big discussion with this all the time about like being balanced. And I just believe in tournaments, like you don't need to be as balanced per se as you think you do, because 1, you're not going to see the people ever again for the most part. And 2, like half of them aren't even thinking at that level.
Right.
So
I think that's a good point. It's like very like opponent specific, right? How your approach and your thought process.
Correct.
Let's see. I'm trying to think about anything else. How long have we been running for, Joe?
I know that you asked a question at one point about the toughest tournament I played.
Oh yeah, I was just going to assume the 6-max. Was it not?
So the 3K 6-max was very tough, but like early on, I get lucky because even in the last 2 main events, I've gotten really good table draws. Right, like that's part of poker and tournament poker. The 5K no limit hold'em tournament, which was in that 2-week dry spell, I got my butt kicked in.
Like 5? That sounds tough.
Yeah, well, it was pretty tough. There wasn't there wasn't as many like fish per se as there were in all the other tournaments. So it's like your pro to recreational percentages, like now there's 70% pros and 30% recs.
Yeah.
Rather than when every tournament you play is like 30% pro is 70% recs.
Yeah, I mean, if you put a $5,000 buy-in on a World Series event and don't give it a fancy name, it's just going to be all pros for the most part, right?
Yeah. So like my starting table was like Sean Deeb, Tony Dunst, Shannon Shore was at my table again.
That's pretty sick.
Myself, another guy who like I recognized but I didn't know his name, and then a European pro named Steven Van Zadelhoff, who's like a sicko crusher.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay.
That's rough. I played the Millie Maker, and like my tables I had no idea, but one table had this like Belgian pro with like 2 million in earnings, Jason Yoon, the like short Asian kid from Live at the Bike, who's you know what I'm talking about? He's like, you would know if you saw him. Like, he was there, very recognizable face, and some other guy who travels playing high rollers. Like, it's just like, what the hell? Like, it was, and I couldn't do anything. I was
just unlucky, yeah.
Well, it's also, it's just like, I'm not used to being in this position. Like, I'm used to playing Hampton 250s, you know, where just like everyone's, it's not as serious. These people aren't pros. Like, it's a lot more fun. Like, I'm way at like, maybe if you gave me like a month with these guys, I could figure it, like a certain amount of time with these guys, I could figure it out. But like, all right, I'm just going to sit here and like play very straightforward, essentially, right? Like, I don't. It was a weird feeling for me being put in that position. I mean, not only like one pro, but half the table was just like crushing. So
yeah, and you gotta be able to adjust and play like.
Yeah, I just waited for the bubble to burst, and I played like a nit. Probably not the greatest strategy, but you know. So are you running deep in anything online right now, or?
No, I'm just playing cash.
Well,
I started a session when I was waiting for you guys to figure out your stuff.
Yeah, that was like 2 hours ago, right?
Yeah.
All right, Joe, how long have we been live for?
40 minutes.
40?
Yep.
Jeez. Okay. Well, I think this might be a good. I can't. Joe, did I forget anything? Am I?
Well, I think you covered everything everyone asked.
Okay.
Oh, there was one other question. Somebody, I forget who asked, want to know if Dave uses PIO solvers at all, PO solvers.
I've started, so like I've actually have been looking in to get more coaching actually currently, because I believe like if you can focus on your game and improving while you like are like theoretically doing really well, then it's easier to get better than when you're like doing really bad, because it's obviously you go through spells, because then like your brain's just in a different place. So my backer actually has the software and we go over stuff, but I'm also looking to do, I believe I got accepted for chip leader coaching, which is ran by like Chance Corneth and originally Nick Petrangelo as well, but now there's a bunch of other coaches. Ryan LaPlante will be my coach. I just want to keep getting better, right? Like, I think the minute you stop trying to improve yourself as a person, and specifically poker, which is what I'm doing full time now, then you start going backwards. So
when you say chip leader coaching, is that you were accepted to be coached?
I'm going to be getting coached.
Okay.
And because I want to be able to take my game from beating, at this point I've proven that I can beat, big no limit hold'em fields like at small buy-ins, right? Like, yeah, 1,500 buy-in in the World Series is small, but like around here locally, 300s, 400s, 600s, I can beat those. And I think personally I can, beat the 2Ks and 3Ks and maybe even some of the easier 5Ks across the country. But to get to the point where you're consistently beating 2,500s to 10Ks, and then even to jump to 25K high rollers, like, you got to put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
So I haven't in the past used too many PIO solvers, but I will be, like, in the very near future, be going even harder than I have been.
Sounds like you're like headed in the right direction, and you know what steps to take in order to get better. And I think it's difficult to when you're crushing this hard, for some people to be like, yeah, I should probably like seek outside help and get coaching. Like, I think a lot of people would just be content with, oh, I'm doing well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I mean, I think it's fucking great that you're, looking to further improve.
Yeah, man. Just like being stagnant is like the worst thing in any avenue of life, right? Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, I could just like sit on it, like, and just keep grinding 2-5 cash in New Hampshire and not have to worry about getting better up. Like, no offense, but
yeah.
But like, you know what, the wind's coming, right? There's gonna be bigger games. There's gonna be tougher players coming into town. Like, in Vegas, you hear whispers from everybody saying they're gonna move here and stuff. So it's like,
at least for a while.
Yeah, if you want to compete with the big boys and like, be known as one of the best, which, I do want to compete with those guys, and I think I can, but I got to put the work in.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I think you will. I think you will be able to compete with the best, because you're fucking David Mock. So thanks for coming on. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Dave, you got any final words? Any parting words?
Last thing, check out Pocket Jake's Poker. I'm wearing one of the shirts now. Stacy Sullivan is a
You should
friend
stand up so people can see it.
So this one's one of our funny ones. It says "Love to Shove."
Nice.
But she got a bunch of different stuff. Pocket Jake's Poker. Stacy Sullivan, who is part of Limp Call, I believe, in New Hampshire. She's a main girl. Been around the scene for a long time. She runs it, and I believe that she's doing good things with everything. So check it out. Get some shirts. Get some hoodies. It's a cool place. It's a cool company. And thanks
I
for
like
having
that
me.
design. Yeah, it looks cool. I saw the one you had when you won Parks too. It had like the two big.
Yeah. She got a bunch of
Jacks on,
different designs. It's really cool.
Nice.
She does a great job. So
Speaking of shirts,
let's get the plug. Get the.
I'm
shameless
still waiting on mine too.
it's coming.
All right. So yeah, I think anyone who's watching, if you order a shirt, it'll be at the 2-day. Also, that Pocket Jake stuff looks pretty cool too. I'm gonna check that out.
I'm gonna try to make the 2-day if I accidentally bust the Foxwoods main.
All right. Well, I'll hopefully. I mean, I don't want you to bust it, but I would love to see you at the 2-day. Just not at my table. We'll just, I'd rather just talk to you on break. That's it.
Sounds good, bud.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on. I'll hopefully see you soon.
You will, bud. See you around.
All right. Adios. I don't know if we're actually going to cut the video or just going to. Okay.
Anything else to say?
What's that?
Got anything else to say?
No, I think that went pretty good. I'm fucking sweating because I turned the fan off, so I'd love to end it.
All right.
But is there any other questions from Slice?
I stopped looking.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm getting off here. I'm gonna go sit in the AC and cool down.
All right.
All right, man. Adios.